should hop into it, because the other thing that was awful last week was the intro, where I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like paralyzed.
Okay.
Which was how we got the really bad tarot segment. So
It kind of spiraled.
it spiraled. It was really bad. It was really bad listening back. I was just like, and I was like, I only listened to it because I was like, well, maybe this could be salvageable. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And then no, it was actually worse.
You will never hear it though.
No.
Anybody who's listening.
No, nobody's gonna hear it because I fucking cut it out. I needed to cut it out, much like the cancer of Malignant.
Ooh, that's a good segue.
Thank you. So that's our horror harvest this week. Malignant from director James Wan, which Ian picked last week.
But you're already throwing the blame on me.
I am, because you famously pick all of these, and you definitely picked this one.
I blindly picked this one. I picked this one before the reviews even came in.
That's true.
I put my trust in James Wan, and he failed me.
Because you sent me a message on Tuesday, and you're like, "What do we do?" It was something like, "What do we do if I can't finish this movie?"
Yeah, no, I was like, "What if I can't get through this?"
Yeah. And then so I got to about the halfway mark, because I watched it last night, and I was I was kind of in a similar boat where I was like, I was like thinking when I started it, I was like, all right, well, at least it shouldn't be boring, because I was like, the worst thing this movie can be is boring. And I got to about the halfway mark, and I was like, I'm so fucking bored. This movie is so boring.
Yeah, when I sent you that text, I was about 45, 50 minutes in. And I was bored to tears. There was absolutely nothing going on.
Yes. I was so fucking bored.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't give a shit. I didn't care who these characters were. It didn't matter. There were no good scares. And there wasn't even any good, action or anything going on.
No.
The story wasn't interesting. There was fucking nothing. It was
the only thing I took away from the first half of that movie that I was like enjoying. I was observing how good the hair of the two lead actors is. The two sisters.
Yeah. They both
have
the same
great hair.
They both have the same haircut.
It's weird because they do both have the same haircut, and then another character that you learn their identity later on has also the exact same haircut.
Yes, they all have just this straight hair and then bangs.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's funny though, because the two sisters, and we're gonna go into spoilers because who gives a fuck. You find out that around that 50-minute mark that they're adopted sisters. They're not blood related. And it's and then I realized oh, that they're not blood related because one of them is brunette and the other one is blonde.
Yep.
But they have the same haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
This was so weird because it doesn't have anything going for it until the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. For as boring as the first half, even a little bit more than half of this movie is, it is not boring for the back stretch. I can say that much.
Yeah. And so it's really a case of, why is this movie 2 hours long?
Oh, totally.
Why? There's no reason for it. It's not like the mystery is all that, it's kind of obvious what's going on throughout the whole thing, in one way or another. And it just takes so long to get there for no reason.
Right, for no reason, because you're not unraveling a mystery. You're just waiting around for the characters to run into the mystery.
Yeah.
For it to, you could say, fall out of the ceiling.
I almost turned it off. I almost turned it off at that point. I honestly did. That was so fucking stupid. There's so many moments like that. Where it's but that was the topper. Where it just And like it's a dumb horror movie that doesn't act like it is.
Yeah, that's I think the main problem I have with it. Because I had seen people make comparisons to like 70s Italian horror.
No.
Right.
No,
And
no, no.
right. And I can see in places where inspiration was taken from that style of horror, but the problem here is that this movie was so self-serious. Like it took
Yeah.
itself seriously, where I feel like a lot of it could have worked if it had leaned into like the campier side of it.
Right. No, see, whenever it opened, and it opened with that like sort of almost TV like credit opening, which I was like into it in the beginning. I was like, okay, this is going for almost like the fuck, I'm so bad with names. The Netflix, the Fear Streets, where it's doing that extended opening. It's like sort of letting you in on the vibe in the world. You know, it's going through all these like medical clippings of what's going on. You know, it's setting the it's supposed to set the tone. And for like where Fear Street, the first one was like, okay, this is 90s slasher, and the second one was this is 70s slasher, and so I thought this one was gonna be 2000s, like sort of edged out post grunge, you know, like continuation where it was going to be like this is like Final Destination or the kind of really bad slasher sequels, you know, like that's where I thought it was going, and I was like, okay, yeah, cool. And it's not that. Like it kind of is, but it doesn't actually commit to doing that.
No.
Like the killer is, you know, he's like leather clad, you know, like a lot of that shit would be in the 2000s, and it's got like this thumping techno thing at times, but it doesn't really commit to like doing that because it takes itself so fucking seriously. It wants to be like this serious thriller where it's too bad to be that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe there is a disconnect between screenwriter and director, because James Wan didn't write the screenplay, somebody else did.
Right, but he came up with a story.
Okay. It's just there is a tonal mismatch. And it's so drastic that it just like ruins the movie almost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the only thing that ruins the movie, because like you said, a lot of the dialogue writing was really rough. You don't care about the characters. The pacing was horrendous for a large portion of it.
Yeah. Like, and then there were just like jokes like thrown in. But like it doesn't fit the tone. Like even in the scenes, it's like, well, why are you joking right now? And like it doesn't release any kind of tension that they're trying to build up either. Because often there is no tension, but it's like you want there to be tension in the scene, and then it's like you're kind of quipping, like it's like Whedon quips. Like
it's like a lot of that surrounded the detectives, right? The investigators. Yeah. And it's like, okay, you're looking into this serial killer case and this woman who is being traumatized every single night and was just beaten
by her husband.
Was just beaten by her husband, and then you're throwing out one-liners.
Lost her pregnant child. Lost her pregnant child. You know what I mean? She was pregnant with a baby, and she lost the baby.
Yeah, she had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And then you're throwing out one-liners, and you're having like these quirky little dynamics between the investigators, and it's like whiplash. It's two different movies.
Yeah, so strange. And then there are just moments that like I don't think it was meant to be a quip, but then so the scene before the woman falls out of the attic, like where they're doing the repression memory
the hypnosis.
Yeah. And then so discount Wanda Sykes, the other detective, she comes to the conclusion or whatever that the audience has already known for like half an hour. And she's like, wait, you're telling me that it was like a straight up like Ice-T thing from Special Victims Unit, where like he just does the like You're telling me that this is what's going on? It's like, yes,
Mhm.
we already know. We've been
Yeah,
known.
it's like it's as if she was like almost staring down at her phone and then decide to look up and listen to the conversation for the first time.
Yeah, it was like
Actually pay attention. It's like, oh, this is what's happening.
but like the camera zooms in like that was supposed to be the reveal.
Yes.
It's like, no, we knew this. We knew all this already. Like, why is this a scene? We knew all this. We could piece this together 40 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this movie dragging like this? And it's like, oh, it's to set up the woman falling out of the attic. And
yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is really dumb, but then they're taking it seriously. So like, okay, I'll take it seriously too. If the killer was in the attic, then how come nobody could hear him sharpening the knives and all the shit and the woman screaming, and like all that shit? And then I have another problem with the basic plot. So you know how she's the killer. Like this is deep spoilers, but who gives a shit? Because this is not a good movie. So she's the killer because she's got a twin sticking out of her head. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the big reveal. But
yeah.
So she also gets quote unquote visions of the murders that are occurring. So, but she isn't there when the murders are occurring. But it's her body. But her sister was there whenever she was getting the vision.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, remember
like
she runs into the bedroom whenever the guy in the hotel is getting murdered, or the apartment, wherever that building was.
Oh, okay. So that's like a continuity problem there.
Right. So it's like this red herring where it's like, oh, it can't be her because she wasn't physically there. But she was, because it was her body doing the murders.
Right. The visions are just this parasitic twin repressing her consciousness and putting her in a different place so that she doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah. But then when she snaps
being,
out of it, the sister's there.
Yeah. I didn't pick up on that, but that seems like a bit of a plot hole there for sure.
Right. And it's like, if this leaned into being, campy, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, you wouldn't have to nitpick like this.
Right, but it's taking itself seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I think the one thing that did work, only justification for this movie existing, is the cool idea, like, aesthetically, of the parasitic twin when it's in control, and then it's like going around slashing people up, and just like the whole visual of like when it's turned around, seeing her lifeless face on the back of its head. It's just a very cool, like, it's a very visually cool character and like monster, right?
Yeah, but you don't get there until the last 20 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's far too late. Which, like, I was engaged with it when it got to that point because it really just like fell off the handle. Like, it finally
looked cool. There was something to look at.
Yeah, it went nuts.
Yeah, because like in the earlier part, like you see the murders, and then I was like curious. I almost paused the movie to look. I was like, "Is this a PG-13 movie?" Because like you see the murders and there's like a little bit of blood, but like you don't really see anything. And then when the detectives like go to the murder scene, they kind of don't show the bodies for the most part. You kind of just see the detective's reaction. They're like, "Oh, that's rough,"
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird because for a movie that leans in very heavily to the gore in the back, the final act. You have, like, for example, the older guy. I think he worked at the facility. He was like a doctor, or he worked with a doctor.
Yeah.
He's like in his apartment by himself and he gets killed. But the perspective when he's getting killed is the camera's underneath the bed. And so you actually see none of it. You just hear it.
Yeah. So I thought this was like, and that was like so much of it felt like a made-for-TV movie because I didn't know any of these actors, and that's fine, but like they weren't very good. And in the beginning until the last 20, they didn't really show much of the kills. It just felt like kind of cheap.
It did. In fact, it felt so cheap that when the woman is pregnant, and maybe this isn't me misunderstanding like biology, but she's pregnant.
When she got out of the bed?
She gets out of the bed, and her stomach is like
sideways, so
you can tell it's a prosthetic.
Yes, I caught that too.
Yeah, it's like stuff like that.
Yeah,
really stands out when it shouldn't, because this is a big studio horror film with a pretty decent budget, I have to imagine, from a filmmaker who's made DC comic movies.
He's a big deal. He's like one of the biggest quote unquote like horror directors. Like he's like The Conjuring is like the biggest franchise. And so is Insidious. We discovered last week he did the first one.
Yes,
like that's falling.
He also directed Saw, by the way, the first Saw.
Okay, which is very good. He's like the biggest 2000s horror dude.
Yeah,
like everybody's allowed a stinker, but this one,
it's disappointing, because when I was hearing the early reaction to it before I'd seen it, people were like, "Well, this is just very silly and gory." I'm like, "Okay, James Wan has proven that he can do that." Because like when I was watching, especially the second Conjuring movie, the one thing that I liked about that a lot was like the set piece, of the house, and like the different it felt like Spielberg-esque way he was doing that. And it's like, okay, so if you're getting really like goofy and gory, I could see him pulling that off really well.
No, I was expecting that.
Yeah,
like at the beginning.
Yeah, just didn't happen.
No,
didn't happen till the very end.
And even the sets felt just cheap.
Yeah, very generic.
And that awful, chase sequence.
One thing that was pretty cool, but they really didn't do much with it, was the low level, so they're in Seattle.
Yeah.
And one of the characters that gets kidnapped is like a tour guide. She's going over these undergrounds. So I know that they built on top of them, right? So it's like underneath you can still see like different storefront shops and stuff from like probably like a century ago.
Yeah, like old Seattle. Yeah, they built on top of the old city. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was really cool. It's just that they really hardly did anything with it.
They only had part of that stupid chase sequence down there, and they filled most of it with a smoke machine, which looked awful.
And like the choreography of the chase was really silly too, because like the creature keeps going in through these little so he'll beat the cop around the corner and he'll sneak into this little like crevice, but then the cop just like magically knows that he's in that crevice and he follows him directly down there. So it was just very like poorly thought out.
It was so goofy. Yeah. Now there are a couple last things I want to hit you with. I don't know how much more you have to say.
No, go ahead.
So I want to send you a quick image real quick.
Sure.
On Discord, and I want to get your thoughts.
What is this image from?
You'll know.
Oh. Okay, so we're looking at Joker from Persona, correct?
Yes. Now, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you know, it's not surprising that your mind went in this direction. But to me, like, it's just a leather jacket.
Okay, but he's also the kill, like he's doing these flips and shit with the little knife.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that.
I'm not.
Like
I'm
I said,
not,
the one thing this movie did have was the whole, like, just the head of that thing. Where
yeah.
you have the twin popping out of the back of the skull. For most of the movie, it's covered by hair because that would reveal it.
Right.
That was very cool. But yeah, the rest of the character is really just like a leather clad, very quick, very nimble, sort of
Acrobat.
like acrobat. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying they copy. I'm just think it's very funny.
Sure.
And then the other thing, I want. The other thing I want to bring up is,
Okay.
do you know how last week where I had the crazy notion that Climax might have been making some sort of statement about abortion?
I do remember that.
So what do you did you have any takeaways from this one? Maybe
I did not.
no.
Are you talking about the miscarriage aspect of it?
Yes.
So in the case of this movie, I think there was no political statement.
Yeah.
No intentional political statement being made.
Okay.
I think the point of the miscarriages was to later on reveal this parasitic twin. The fact that this parasitic twin was like, I guess, well, no, it's not that the parasitic twin was jealous of like her having a kid. It was just that it was feeding off of these fetuses.
I think it was both.
Okay, so it was jealous and it was feeding off of these fetuses to gain its power.
Yeah.
It's just a plot device. Yeah, that's really all it was.
Yeah.
Which, do I think you should use a woman's trauma as a plot device? No.
Yeah.
But that's all I think it was on the part of like whoever wrote the screenplay.
No, I do agree. I just think it's funny that 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, no, that is. I thought of that, but I wasn't going to bring it. I was.
Of
course.
No, but I do have a serious sort of comment about that, which is that there's the reveal sort of at the end where the sister's like, no, the miscarriages were caused by your parasitic twin and not your husband abusing you.
Oh, yeah.
Which...
That's what you would initially believe, yeah.
At the 11th hour, absolves the abusive husband for beating the shit out of her.
Well, I don't know if it does that.
By proxy.
I don't know if it intentionally does that.
But
I don't
does.
think I don't think it's trying to like reverse any of the shitty things that the husband did.
But it's like we didn't need any more evidence that the parasitic twin was a bad guy. You know,
well, that's true. That is
true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we didn't. It wasn't really necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the main character's trauma and the shit that she goes through is not explored in much detail. It's kind of just like thrown to the side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, one of the messages is like, you know, we're family, whether we're, you know, by blood or not. And they have that nice moment at the end, the sisters. But like beyond that, there's really not much explored with her, like her family life or anything like that.
Okay, you know what? I take back what I said about there not being any messaging or theming, because you know at the end where she's like, she has that moment of the consciousness with the twin, and she's like, "No, this is my body," and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's my body, my choice.
Oh, you think that's... I didn't really get that from that line or anything,
but then she's like, "No, it's my body. I could do everything that he did."
Well, that's just explaining how she turned the tides. Like that's just explaining how she took control and defeated him, right?
And can now have the same superpowers that he does.
Right.
With her body.
Mm-hmm.
And that she can now have a child.
I don't know.
It's so messy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't
I mean,
it doesn't help that like the character has no personality going on at all.
none of them do. None of them do.
None of them do, but like to have it be like your sort of like your protagonist that you focus the movie on.
Hmm.
There's a there's a moment like when they're trying to do jump scares like early on where she's like walking down the stairs with laundry and then something just like runs by her house like in front of her like on like across the stairs or whatever.
Hmm.
And she just kind of has no reaction to it and then just kind of keeps walking with her basket of laundry.
Yeah.
And just kind of keeps looking around. And I'm like, are you gonna do anything? Are you gonna
Right.
like even make a face? And there's just nothing. Just nothing. It was so weird. Like,
Yeah.
like it just felt like a TV movie. Until the last 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, safe to say we're not going to recommend this one.
No.
Unless you want to skip ahead and see some decent like gore in the back 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, check that out on YouTube. Like,
sure.
Because otherwise you're wasting 2 hours to get there.
So should I announce next week's
Please.
film?
Yes.
All right. So next week we are going with now this is mostly I haven't seen this one.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've been wanting to watch it. It could very well be like horror adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be directly like a horror film. We're not going to get technical, right?
Yeah. It's fine.
Okay, so this one is called I Am Not a Witch.
Okay.
It's from 2017. It's directed by Rungano Nioni. I can give you a quick synopsis.
Sure.
It is this film. You just pull it up real quick. Okay, so the first child is taken to a traveling witch camp where she is told that she should cut the ribbon and attempt to escape. Crossing the witches is a bad idea, and she risks being cursed and transformed into a goat.
Okay. Sounds
So,
interesting.
yeah, so that'll be next week's film.
All right. Look forward to it.
Now it says this movie is available for free on like that, that free streaming service Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
So it is available on there. I don't necessarily recommend that because they do have a lot of ads, but
okay.
that is one way to watch it.
Sure.
But yeah, looking forward to that. Hopefully it's a nice rebound from this week.
Yeah. Do have a quick dead letter. Let me pull that up.
Great.
I got this one also sent into the publishing email. And I don't know why or how. The headline or the what's it called? What do they call it in email? What is it called when somebody emails you and it's at the top?
Subject?
Subject. Thank you.
Yeah.
I call myself a professional editor and I can't speak. Are you free on 4 through 5 October? And this is from the Independent Hotel Show. Good morning, DeadEndRoad. I would like to invite you to join us at the Independent Hotel Show taking place on 4 and 5 October at Olympia, London. The show is complimentary to attend, and you can register your place here. Be inspired and purchase products and services as we present a curated collection of 300 premium suppliers exhibiting beautiful design, the latest technology, and innovative products. To stay competitive and keep up to date with the latest trends, choose from 25 plus free to attend seminars and workshops delivered by more than 45 industry thought leaders, showcasing true innovation, and coveted ideas. The Concept Lab presents a hand-picked collection of the industry's most exciting solutions for your hotel business, providing a first look at the possibilities surrounding the future of the guest experience. Should you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I look forward to welcoming you in October. And it turns out that this really is a hotel show in London. I don't understand why this was sent to me, or why they think that I have a hotel business.
Well, we did discuss the Four Seasons landscaping company.
That is true.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I think this came in before that.
Okay, so then I'm at a loss then.
Yeah, I don't. And this was sent to the publishing email. And this was probably just autofill, but it does greet me as Dead End Road. Yeah, I don't understand where they could have possibly perceived that I have a hotel or some kind of hospitality business.
Have you stayed at a hotel anytime in the recent past?
No. No, I haven't. No, not for several years.
Did you watch The White Lotus? Like, what?
Is
there any sort of
torrented it. I haven't watched it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the show's free, but getting there sure as shit isn't. So I cannot, unfortunately, attend the independent hotel show at the Olympia, London. Yeah.
They'll be missing out. They'll be missing your presence there.
I know, because there's 25 plus free seminars. The problem is that I am free on 4 through 5 October. So.
Sure. I mean, do we want to take this podcast on the road?
I mean, we could, but yeah, I think it might be too late for us to register our own panel, our own free seminar.
Bummer. Well, we could do one like unofficially, like, you know,
just outside. Yeah,
just outside. Set up a booth.
I'm sure they'd love that. It's like, hey, you invited us, you know. So yeah. As always, you can send anything into video@deadendroad.co. Or if you want, you could send shit to the publishing email. I don't give a shit. Publishing@deadendroad.co. I don't care where you send it.
So you can tell we're desperately in need of some letters.
But that was like that's the most professional spam I've gotten. Because it seems real. You know, they have a phone number and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what tells you it's real. Oh shit! All right, so that was dead letters for this week. Okay. I'm just seeing. Today's Yom Kippur, right? As we're recording.
I think so.
So the NBA Players Association just put out a graphic for wishing you all a meaningful Yom Kippur, and they put some, you know, like. They got some Stars of David here, and then in the center they have a menorah, which I believe...
Isn't that a Hanukkah thing?
I think that's the Hanukkah thing.
I don't know for sure, but I think so.
I believe that's for Hanukkah.
Yeah, I know that it is used for Hanukkah, but is it used exclusively for Hanukkah? Like, is it just...
I think it is. Oh yeah, people are lighting them up. Oh yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Somebody said, "Happy Easter to you too," and they posted a Christmas tree. Okay.
Terrific.
Okay. All right. Now, do we want to do the Nicki Minaj, or should we stay with some movie shit?
Yeah, let's stay with some movie stuff.
Okay.
Let's keep it. Let's keep the continuity.
Sure.
I guess. I have a thing too.
Okay.
I know you made a late addition to the show notes.
Yes, I did, because I couldn't believe. So whenever that trailer for the Dear Evan Hansen movie came out like a few months ago, it sparked the whole thing where it's like, why the fuck did they hire this 30-year-old man to play like 15-year-old?
Yes.
And so then the movie has now come out, and it just looks absolutely horrifying. This dude, it looks like the horror movie version of Pen 15, where you have a 30-year-old man like interacting with children. It's awful. And so I saw this lead from the Vulture review of the movie. This is from Nate Jones at Vulture. And I'm just going to read this first paragraph here because it's astounding. In 2009, Warner Brothers released Orphan, a horror movie about a young child who worms her way into a normal American household using perverse psychological manipulation before, spoiler alert, being revealed as an adult woman. On Thursday night, the audience at the opening night of the 2021 Toronto International Film Festival was lucky enough to be treated to an unofficial Orphan remake. It is called Dear Evan Hansen. It is nominally the story of a high schooler who tells a white lie that spirals out of control.
Bravo to that reviewer. It's very good.
So if people have like missed this thing, it's the fact that this actor was in the stage production of this years ago. Whenever he was like more of age. Mm-hmm. And so Steven Chbosky, who was the director, was like, "Oh no, he has to fill the role. He was too good or whatever." But he's like 30.
What I thought was very funny about this, like, so he's playing someone who's like 17.
Mm-hmm.
Really 27.
He's 27?
So that's the thing. So he's playing somebody. He's our age. He's playing somebody 17. He's actually 27, but he looks 37.
Yes. My
so
God.
There's like a 2-decade difference going on.
God.
Here. It's very funny.
There was another thing. There was another review. I didn't get the link. I don't know. I should have got the link, but they had to issue a correction because they originally said that they hated the wig that he was using, and they had to issue a correction because they were informed that it is not in fact a wig that he's using and that is his real hair.
Oh, what a burn!
It looks horrible, and then every time this like sort of happens and people become aware of this musical, and you find out the plot of the musical, people are then even further horrified because are you aware of the basic plot?
I have seen the trailer, but it's completely like left my mind, like the details of it. So if you can refresh.
Okay. So the basic plot, as I have been informed and as I understand it, is the main character here, Evan Hansen, the 30-year-old, is he has a classmate that he doesn't know at all, that kills himself. Okay, and so
yeah,
that boy's parents and family think that they were friends through like this weird twist of fate, and because he printed out a letter or some shit like that. And so he like worms his way and convinces him that they were like best friends, and invents all these lies about what like this amazing relationship that they had, this friendship that they had, all in an effort for him to sleep with the dead boy's sister.
That has to be some sort of construed version of it.
No, that is it.
No.
Yeah, that is it.
No way.
There was even a scene where he makes out with her on the dead boy's bed.
I thought this was just like a tearjerker about like overcoming grief or something.
They try to make it about that. They try to. Now, whenever I first heard that, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be like some sort of like black comedy." Okay. No, this is another thing where it takes itself very seriously.
So do you know how I first heard about this movie?
How was that?
From Big Brother.
Oh my God.
So every now and then Big Brother will have like a sponsored segment.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Luckily they are few and far between.
Who produced this movie?
That's a good question. I would imagine it's probably Paramount, right?
Yeah.
Would line up pretty well. So anyway, so what they did with this was they themed a competition, an episode of Big Brother around like this movie, around like high school.
Oh,
Then,
some more 30-year-olds pretending to be in high school.
It was fairly appropriate, yeah.
Yeah.
So winner of the competition got to see like an advanced screening of this movie.
What a treat.
House.
What a treat.
And I do feel like they found the perfect audience to see this film, which is people who have not able to see any movies for the past 3 months and would literally watch anything.
Yeah.
And this is what they got.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna do this again, and this might be bad audio again, but I'm gonna send you another image.
Okay.
And I want to get your reaction.
Did Napoleon Dynamite?
Now.
Oh God.
Now. would you care to explain what I just said?
So this is Kevin Spacey. I don't know the context of this one here. I don't know if I need to.
Yeah.
But it's Kevin Spacey dressed up, I can only assume, as a teenage boy.
If you compare how he's dressed to this image, I guess would help. Because I didn't know if you had the Vulture article.
Oh, the side by side. Oh no. That's like straight off the rack. They it's the exact same shirt.
Yeah. They're probably the same size.
What is this Kevin Spacey image from?
I believe he was hosting some sort of, because as you can see, it says #host, I believe.
Yeah.
To get that trending. I believe he was hosting, maybe it was the Tonys or something.
Oh, so he's dressed up as Evan Hansen.
Yes. He's
got the cast.
Yes,
I didn't notice the cast on Evan
yeah.
Hansen, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's really rough.
Yeah.
All things considered, that is brutal.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
That photo needs to be wiped from existence.
No, it's getting spread around. It's very good. It took me 2 seconds to pull that up. Oh man.
Yeah, I wish it hadn't.
So this movie is getting slammed.
I believe the Broadway production, like the actual theater production, was pretty well received. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this just seems like a real misstep here.
Yeah. Oh, and so then the other thing is that I don't know if you saw this. They're creating a de-aged version of
Ben
Platt here for a limited theatrical release.
I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Is that real? That's incredible.
That is real. Let me see if I can.
Reminds me of, like, remember when Cats came out and people were horrified because, like, they were, what was it? Something went wrong with the CG where the cats were looking like, I don't even remember what it was, but there was outrage about the CG in Cats. This reminds me of that.
Yes.
It sounds like a similar disaster to that.
And it's the same as the Sonic the Hedgehog. Whenever they first revealed the Sonic the Hedgehog, and everybody was friggin' horrified. I'm trying to find the photograph of what they did to the. No, this is just other teen boys that have played Evan Hansen. I don't want this. Damn it. But anyway, yeah, they're digitally de-aging him, and it looks so creepy.
They're using the same technology they use for, like, Al Pacino in the last Scorsese movie.
Yes.
Oh, it's amazing.
They did that to De Niro too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of make him smooth.
Yeah.
They just kind of get rid of the wrinkles.
Maybe they should give him a wig.
Right. It's like, yeah, it does look like a wig.
Totally.
It really does. It's like,
I need to click away from this Kevin Spacey photo on Discord. I need to not have this on my screen while I'm doing the podcast.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God.
Can we transition into some good movie stuff?
Sure, please. Yeah.
Unless you have anything else to say.
I think that's it. I think that's it.
Okay, because I wanted to briefly talk about what's been going on with the film festivals that have been happening this fall and award season as it's starting to closer and closer. So we had Venice Film Festival a couple weeks ago, and the Golden Lion was given out, which is like the top prize, the best picture at the festival. It went to a film directed by Audrey Diwan called Happening. It's a French abortion drama.
Oh my God! How?
Hopefully with much.
We have to start.
No, I think this is probably going to be worth talking about. Unlike the abortion commentary from Gaspar Noé and James Wan, which I don't know if either of those exist, but. This is interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. My favorite movie of last year was also an abortion drama.
Oh my God.
It was Eliza Hittman's Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. There are two teenagers from Pennsylvania. One of them is pregnant and is unable to get an abortion in her state, so she and her cousin have to travel to New York City to find one, basically. And so it's basically like a road movie. With a very like meaningful message behind it. It was remarkable. I highly recommend it. Yes, so this one looks like it has a lot of potential here because it won this top prize and it won it unanimously on a panel that included Chloe Zhao and Bong Joon-ho and other filmmakers. So it's definitely something to look forward to. Winner of Venice usually goes on to have a pretty successful award season. The last two winners, I believe, have won Best Picture at the Oscars. So that'll be something to keep an eye on for sure. What I really like about the outcomes at Venice are all of the women filmmakers that have received recognition. So this director, Audrey Diwan, won Best Picture. Jane Campion returned for her first movie in 17 years, which is going to be a Netflix film, The Power of the Dog, that's coming out in December. Best Screenplay went to Maggie Gyllenhaal for her film, The Lost Daughter. I believe that's her directorial debut as well. So a lot of really interesting stuff coming out of this festival. And it's like part of a promising trend in my eyes of women filmmakers receiving recognition. Like last year we had Chloe Zhao winning Best Director. Oscars. It's a big deal. All throughout award season, I saw a lot of films made by women receiving recognition. Like I was looking back to the Gotham Awards from last fall, which, like, to be fair, the voting body of the Gothams are not mostly critics. So they're not exactly representative of what you would get at like the Oscars or some of the more high profile ones.
Right.
Looking at last year's Gotham nominees, Best Feature, there were 5 films. Every single one of them was directed by a woman. Just to run through it, we had The Assistant, First Cow. So anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but the point I'm making is that at Cannes, a woman director won Best Picture. At Venice, same thing. There's been an upward trend in women directors winning, or being recognized. Various ceremonies. So there's obviously a lot of progress that still needs to be made, especially when it comes to filmmakers and actors, people of color. That's still a big problem. And then you have like institutions like the Hollywood Foreign Press, who are just disaster. So much of a disaster that I don't even think they're having the Golden Globes next year. Yeah, which is fine with me, because those are always ridiculous. Oh, for sure. So like, this is just the 6th winner in the history of the Venice Film Festival. 6 women to have won this award. So, few and far between. But the last few years specifically, there's definitely been an upward trend. I'm someone who tries to watch as many movies directed by women as I can.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many great ones.
Right,
it's not a matter of there not being enough.
Of course, yeah.
So to see a lot of these movies that truly are, among the best of the given year that they're nominated, to see them gain recognition is very promising.
Mm-hmm.
I trust this movie happening will have more to say about topic than
yes
than the movies we've discussed.
And it's not me grasping at straws whenever there is just a dead fetus of some sort.
Well, I mean, it's not grasping at straws as much as it is maybe going, like, if you're going to tackle something like that, even if it's just without the intention of making a political statement, you'd at least be aware of like what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a loaded thing, right?
Yeah,
like so.
Yeah.
So So where do we gonna go from here?
Okay, you put this in here, and I'm very curious. What the fuck is Fabio Sparklemane?
Okay. So Fortnite Season 8.
Oh God.
Just premiered on Monday.
Okay.
Along with the new Battle Pass. And Fortnite tends to throw in a character or two in its Battle Passes that are sort of like attempting to maybe capture the meme audience. So the latest iteration of that, let me just pull up a photo for you here.
A lot of photos today.
And you can't see any of them if you're listening to this, but
should this be in meme school? Is this?
No, not really. There isn't much to it. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. This is Fabio Sparklemane.
This makes me very uncomfortable.
That's the reaction a lot of people have gotten.
This makes me very uncomfortable.
So if you haven't seen him, he's a. How would you do you want to describe?
So it is a humanoid unicorn, a pink unicorn, a buff humanoid pink unicorn with a rainbow mane, I guess a sparkle mane, if you will.
Yes.
A rainbow horn, a rainbow tail. He's got some short gym shorts, an unbuttoned sparkle shirt.
Absolutely ripped.
Ripped to shit. He doesn't have hands, he's got hooves, and he's got his arms out like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me, like Buffalo Bill. And he's got the fuck me eyes. This is horrifying. This is terrible. He thought that was bad. Yeah.
There's a built-in emotes.
No,
built-in emotes.
Of course there is.
I'm pulling up the YouTube video and that I would like you to play.
Oh God.
For as long as you can handle it. I'll send you the link right now.
Is this the Fabio Sparklemane challenge?
Yeah.
Why do they do this? What are they doing to the kids?
That's a good question, and
Discord
you'll be asking that
warned
especially.
Me. It's like, Discord was like, "Hey, do you really want to click on this?"
For a YouTube link?
Yes. Okay. All right. This is Fortnite Flake Shake built-in dance emotes, all Fabio Sparklemane styles. If
you get to see his alternate styles.
If you at home would like to find this for yourself. So
goes on. It goes on.
Okay, that was 30 seconds. Now, so he's a cereal mascot?
Yeah, I mean it's a made up cereal.
Of course it is. But why is he sexual?
Well, I mean, I think you came to that conclusion on your own.
No,
I don't think there's anything.
No.
Explicitly.
Why does he? He's got his abs and his pecs out. He's got these eyes like.
You saying? Are you saying that that's a good looking horse?
In the standard in the.
I mean, if you need me to come out and say it, I'll say it. I think it's a good-looking horse.
Okay, I think you might have watched all 6 episodes of Sexy Beasts. Is what that might tell me. But like, what? Why did they need to make him ripped? And why is his like whole body out? And also, wait, does he have hands in this now? He does.
Yeah.
Where did his hooves go?
I think his hooves are still his feet, right? But he's got actual hands.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to grip the cereal box, you know?
So does this mean he could take the hooves off and underneath he has fingers?
Well, isn't one of the lines from the emote, there's a party in my hooves?
That's disgusting.
If you back up a bit, you would hear that.
No, I'm good. No, you don't good. I'm good. That's disgusting. This is like a sleep paralysis demon. This is... I feel... There's a comment here. I feel like this emote is the only other reason I would wear this skin, other than it looking cool. What have they done to the children?
Yeah.
What have they done to the children? This is so addicting. Holy crap. There's not even like a melody. What are you talking about?
There isn't a melody until you've heard it 15 times loading into a match of Fortnite.
God in heaven. This emote is so silly, annoying, but so catchy at the same time. The only magical thing is the box. What does that mean? It's kind of dark when you think of it.
The question is, would you roll with this emote? Would you equip
No.
Mr. Sparklemane? You wouldn't.
No.
Not.
Because then I'm looking at his ass while I'm playing, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, it's too distracting.
Well, everything about this is... Okay, you know what? I will give them credit here. I appreciate that the cereal box is different depending on which skin you're wearing. Like, they actually changed the box. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, they put a lot of attention to detail on little things like that with their skins.
Yeah. The problem is that this is gonna be a Lucio O's situation, where this becomes a serial.
Ooh, yeah. That I didn't think of that, but that's definitely going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. What bothered me about the Lucio O's was that it should have just been Lucy O's. There was an extra O in there.
Yes.
And also Lucio didn't have his whole fucking body out, which was fine.
I mean, you don't need to shame Fabio for being who he is.
The furries, I feel like they get enough, you know?
Do they?
Yeah. Like there's enough mascots, you know what I mean? This is just
Actually, now that I think about it, there is let me send you another.
no.
We send you another Fortnite skin.
No.
This is one of the most popular scenes in the game, actually.
This is scarier than Malignant. This is.
So there is this one. It's pretty old.
Yeah, okay. But like something like this is like almost in every game now. You know, there's something like this in Fallout 4. Except like half the head's blown off. Like there's all kinds of creepy teddy bears. And of course nothing is gonna top Monokuma.
I don't know what that is.
Monokuma from Danganronpa. It's my
okay.
fucking Discord avatar.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the name. I knew it by
yeah. This horse is gonna haunt me. No. Okay. All right, I gotta click off. This is my Kevin Spacey. This is like.
Ooh.
This.
I don't think Fabio would appreciate that.
I don't care. I don't care what Fabio thinks. He's now haunting my Discord. He's in there. Oh, what are they doing to the children? I'm gonna sound like one of those reactionary, like, you know.
I can tell you the amount of sugar cereal that Fabio consumes.
Is that what turned his Sparklemane? Is that what happened?
Well, it's not going to land you those abs.
I don't know what that means.
Meaning that's giving kids the wrong impression that they can eat sugar cereal and come away looking like that.
Yeah.
You know?
There's the picture here of him with a fucking like RPG rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
This is just bizarre scenes. Just bizarre scenes.
That's Fortnite.
Yeah. I just can't get it. Like, so this thing's gonna be running around with Rick Sanchez. I always go back to Rick Sanchez because it looks ridiculous. So this is like 2 weeks after they put Martin Luther King into the game.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, fuck it. Let's put this sexual horse. Let's just like, oh god. Okay. All right. Fuck.
Totally derailed the show with
Fortnite
with
does it
Fabio.
every time. I thought okay. All right. I asked. I guess I brought it on myself. I asked what the fuck Fabio Sparklemane was.
I put it at the bottom. I didn't think we would get to it.
I know. God damn it. Whew. Where do we even go? Where do I go? What do I do with myself? Should we
talk Marvel DC for a minute?
Sure. Yeah.
Some pretty exciting comic book stuff happening.
Yeah. I've been so out of the comic book everything.
Yeah, I mean, me too, but this is something that has brought me back in a little bit. So over the past few months, I've been dabbling in Webtoon.
Okay.
Are you familiar at all with Webtoon?
Tangentially, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So it's a webcomics platform. It is seemingly the most popular in the world.
Yeah, because isn't there a lot of like Korean and Chinese comics?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I think originally it was a Korean. I mean, it is a Korean company, but originally I believe that's where all the creators from.
Mm-hmm.
But as it's grown in popularity, all of their series have localization.
Right. Now,
And there are yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there sort of like a user generated component to it?
Yeah, they have a platform called Canvas.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So basically, you have Webtoon originals, which are when they commission series from a creator,
Mm-hmm.
and they have it like on their featured page. And there are so many. Like they come out with so many new series on a weekly basis. And then you have the whole Canvas platform, which, assuming anybody can, submit to and post their comics on there.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been a lot of cases where a Canvas series will be picked up by Webtoon and turned into an original.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I do believe there's a monetization aspect to Canvas as well. I'm not sure how good it is.
Yeah, right.
But yeah. So yeah, I've been reading, on and off some series.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of their stuff is like romance / soap opera. That's like a lot of what their really popular stuff is.
Right.
But there is a decent amount of like horror and fantasy and science fiction and thriller and all sorts of genres.
Yeah, genre stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. In fact, there was one series I was reading that turned into a Netflix show. I'm forgetting the name of it though. A horror series, one of its most popular ones.
I believe.
But anyway,
Crunchyroll has picked up a couple and turned them into anime. I don't know the names. I think something was called like God Tower or something like that.
Sounds familiar.
I'm not sure the specific one, but yeah, I think Crunchyroll picked one up and turned it into an anime, or like co-produced or something. They do like co-productions with certain studios, and I believe they've done a couple with that started as webtoons and adapted them.
Yeah, so like these are like the most popular comics in the world now.
Right? Yeah.
Which might be surprising to some people. You think like Marvel, DC, like you think like mainstream stuff like that. But I mean, when you look at the numbers of the people that are, how many people are reading webtoons,
yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
Well, because like, the difference, like, I would feel is that Marvel is the biggest, IP in the world, but a lot of those people that are into the movies and all the TV media and everything else, they don't really go to the comics.
Very true.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Webtoon sort of like free to read?
It is. I like their I like the way they do it. I hopefully it works well for the creators too. Like basically when a new series launches, you'll get 3 issues for free. And then depending on the series, there will be another 3 to 5 issues available for you to purchase to read them early.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you're just trying to read the whole series for free, there's 1 issue released every week. So basically, you can read them free weekly. You can pay to read a handful of issues early before everybody else.
Okay.
And what I really like about the platform is the format of the comics. So like I read Webtoon comics on my phone primarily, because they are all formatted to be read almost like as if you're scrolling through like a social media platform. Like it's a vertical scroll. So like just like think as if you're going through your Twitter feed. You're just scrolling vertically, reading. It's like a comic formatted in that way.
Interesting.
Which works very well for phones because like if you compare it to something like Comixology, and how they have like their smart panel thing,
Yeah, yeah.
where it'll like transition between from panel to panel. Very hit or miss. It doesn't work with all books very well, especially like depending on like how the artist lays out their panels and whatnot.
Right. It doesn't. It's usually not how a comic is meant to be read.
Exactly. In fact, sometimes they'll even cut out portions of the art just to make room for like, you know,
Yeah, often
to be able to fit. Yeah, just to be able to fit a panel.
often it doesn't even conform to like a panel if a panel is not perfectly square, which oftentimes they're not. And that's
Yeah,
been,
unless you're reading comics from like the 80s or something, where it was typically like the 9 panel per page
yeah,
format.
like that hasn't been the case like since Watchmen, like really, like, you
Right.
know, like
Mhm.
so whenever they broke that layout. So yeah,
Yeah, so like this webtoon format feels like a really great solution to that because it's really the only feasible way to read comics on your phone.
huh, interesting.
And so pretty exciting news if you're a fan of Marvel and DC is that a few weeks ago, DC announced a partnership with Webtoon, and they've released their first comic on the platform.
Huh.
It's a Batman comic. It's called Batman Wayne Family Adventures. It's a slice of life about the Bat family.
Okay.
It incorporates pretty much everybody from the family. Very little superheroing going on. I've read the first 3 issues of it. It's basically all just like interpersonal stuff between the characters. You'll have like little it's structured in pretty clever ways. Like there's one early on where all the characters are having dinner at like Wayne Manor, and Alfred is like prepared the dinner and end up fighting over like the last cookie, right? So like silly stuff like that, but it like fits with all the characters and the characterization's really good. And they're quick too. They're short,
Right.
so they're very quick reads. Like so, if you have like a couple minutes that you're trying to kill, it's very easy to just go in and read one of these issues, right? So I was really impressed with that. It's exciting. And then on top of that, Marvel just recently, about a week ago, announced an entire line of vertical scroll comics for Marvel Unlimited. They've started out with 27 of them, and they plan to have 100 by the end of the year. And they're being written by many of their like top writers as well. Like a lot of the writers that are writing like the main, like for example, the main Black Widow comic. Same writer is doing they're calling them Infinity Comics, the vertical scroll line. Yeah. And so they're in continuity as well.
Oh, okay.
So they're not just like throwaways. They're actually like in continuity. They matter, and if you're following along with like what's happening to a character, and they're all in that vertical scroll format, so they're easy to read on a phone, which I think is really cool.
How do you again? Well, comic fans are so bizarre, but how do you think that like normal comic fans, like Marvel, DC, will take this? Like, especially if they're in continuity, not side stories like DC is doing.
Is it bad if I say I almost don't care?
Well, yeah. I mean,
no, because like, the only thing I can gauge is people on Webtoon, because when you finish a Webtoon issue, you are immediately thrown into the comments, right?
Okay.
And it seems like a lot of people are excited about it.
Yeah.
And the tone of the comic fits very well with like a lot of stuff that's on Webtoon. It's like a lot of slice of life stuff. There's a lot of stuff based on like, very character driven. Like this fits in very well. As far as like I'd imagine that if you're still following Marvel or even DC, you're probably subscribed to their subscription service, right? So like this is all included with that. So I don't see what the problem would be.
Yeah.
It's just more. Like it's not taking the place of any of the main series. It's just in addition to them.
I would just assume if you're like particular about the way that you read comics,
Oh, so if like you're only reading like physical issues.
Well, yeah, but I also mean that so like you say this is suited to a phone. Well, like I don't really like reading things on my phone, like even articles. Like I
Mhm.
do when you know, I do it, but like it's not my preferred way of consuming things.
Mhm.
So like, what is the case? Like, do you still have an iPad?
Do.
So have you tried to like read these on the iPad? Like, what is the experience of like on a tablet? Is
Not
it
as It's not as good. It does feel like it's blown up a little
okay?
bit too
Yeah, that's what I
much,
was worried about.
but it's still readable.
Okay.
Um, I do see what you're saying though. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if your only option was to read on like a larger tablet, it would still work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely the phone is the target here. Definitely looks best on a phone.
Mm. Is this sort of like a format where like you think they're just kind of like pumping them out? Like you said, Marvel is they got 75 and they're gonna have 100 by the end of the year. Is this like since they're so short, and they don't have to do full page layouts where they can just sort of crank them?
Yeah, these are definitely shorter form than even just a regular comic book issue.
Yeah,
Definitely easier to crank a bunch out, I think.
yeah, interesting.
Which I think is fine. I mean, you might not always have, like, depending on what you're doing, you might not always have time to like read an entire issue or
Right. Yeah.
something. So like it works like in certain contexts.
Mm-hmm. Like and again, I haven't read these, so I don't know. Like, but it almost seems more like Sunday newspaper comics rather than
Yeah, they're almost more like vignette. I can't vignettes.
vignette.
Is that how
Yeah.
you? Christ. Um, but yeah, it is almost like Sunday comics in a way. But like as far as Webtoon stuff, like there is longer form stuff on Webtoon.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the creator.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff that you can read in like 2 or 3 minutes. There's stuff that takes longer. And there are webtoons that incorporate music as well, which I think is really cool. So
So
like
is it like one track that goes through the whole issue,
not
or is it
necessarily,
like they're queued between each panel?
they're cued depending on how like where you're scrolling, like what part of the comic you're
Okay,
in. Yeah.
interesting. Because there are like ebooks that can have that functionality. Um, where for like children's books or whatever, if you like go so far as to animate specific pages, where if a kid like you sort of create like a digital pop-up book where if they touch certain areas of the page, something pops up, it'll have sound effects or it'll
Mhm.
play a song or something like that. Um, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, like I think
Um,
it's really cool when you have one creator who is writing, doing the art, and composing the music,
yeah,
all for one
yeah.
series. Some really impressive stuff on Webtoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like the main issue I've run into with some of the series is localization.
Sure, sure, sure.
Like the strength of the localization can really impact a comic. That varies, but yeah, there's a lot of worthwhile stuff on there. I've been enjoying it. Like I'm excited to see if DC comes out with even more. Like I think they've only announced this first Bat Family comic for now, but
Yeah, they're just sort of dipping in, whereas Marvel is like making this push for it.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting that they've DC is like partnered with Webtoon, but Marvel is just doing it
Right,
themselves.
right. Yeah. Definitely
Interesting to
definitely
see
different
like
approaches, but yeah.
which one is more successful in the long run, you know?
Right. Yeah. Um what was I gonna
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It's not as into reading comics as I was like a few years ago, but
Right.
it's I've definitely like I have Webtoon on my phone. I'm definitely more willing to just like open it up and read a few issues of something.
Right, yeah, if it's that short form,
Hmm.
it definitely makes more sense on the phone. And that's something
Yeah.
I would be more interested in than, like a time killer like TikTok or, you know, something like that, or even just Twitter, you know, like why would I rot my brain on fucking Twitter just seeing all that bullshit when I could just, you know, read a quick story of something.
Yeah, it's a good alternative.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it feels like the direction comics should be moving in if they want to sustain themselves.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Like it feels like a social media platform when you're using it, like the interface and even just scrolling through the stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, it is the present of comics. Like if you think of Webtoon as the most popular platform, this is what comics are now.
Right.
It's almost like Marvel and DC are just like kind of catching up.
They're catching up. Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because there is a push in not only traditional publishing, because publishing is always antiquated and always behind the eight ball on literally everything, and journalism slash, I don't know, like writing on the internet, where you know, like this push for Substack, right? Where
No.
Okay, so Substack is like an email newsletter platform where people can create an email newsletter, right? And you can monetize it, so people can subscribe to your email newsletter and pay for a subscription to receive your email newsletter. And so that's kind of how it started. And then a lot of like columnists and writers sort of that had a profile at some newspapers and other digital outlets moved off of their jobs from that and switched to a personal email newsletter. And then all of a sudden Substack sort of had that in addition to, okay, well now we're going to get novelists to publish their novel in a serial format rather than them, you know, work with a traditional publisher and publish the book as they would. I think Salman Rushdie is the big name that is doing this. And pretentiously he's acting like he's like sort of inventing serialization, which is ridiculous because this is how they would do it like 100 years ago, you know, like Charles Dickens, like his books are massive, but they were originally serialized, you know, like that's how books used to be. They were published in like chapter by chapter. So it's sort of like this recursive where we're kind of going back to the way things used to be, like where things are being serialized in smaller bits rather than, you know, wholesale. So it's interesting that like that's how comics were too, and now we're kind of compartmentalizing that into smaller bits even further.
Yeah.
Because, and if you look at manga, like those are serialized as well, but that's always been the case where they're published in magazines with a bunch of different series, and they're told chapter by chapter. And then they're like just like you know, Western comics where they're told issue by issue and then they're collected into a trade. That's sort of the same thing for manga, you know. But it's just that they're published in a magazine, usually by genre, I believe is the case. I'm not an expert, but I think that's how I understand it. Like Weekly Shonen Jump is like the big one.
Yes.
You know, where it's a lot of the shonen series, like the, you know, the really popular ones, are issue by issue, or I guess chapter by chapter. I don't know what they break it down into. Maybe they do call it issues. I'm not particularly sure.
They're chapters.
Chapters is what they call it. Okay, yeah. So it's very interesting that we're sort of moving back to older forms, while also like adapting the ways that other stories are being told. Like, and then you also look at like the the TV serialization boom that's been going on for like, you know, 20 years now, where TV has been king for a long time. Like, you know, the quote unquote golden age of TV. Serialized dramas and everything, you know, are like the biggest thing and overtook movies for
Now
a
that
while
even
now.
that has like that's actually regressed though.
Right.
That's almost like counter to your point because it's TV has actually gotten shorter.
That's true. Yeah. But you know
But
you know what I
I know
mean.
what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually to make the distinction, on Webtoon, they're not called issues. I was calling them issues, but they're referred to as episodes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See. But it's very interesting where people are more
Yeah.
willing to have something delivered to them in pieces rather than for.
Somebody's gonna argue it's because of attention spans.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Which I don't think is the case, but that argument's being made.
Of course. Yeah. But then you also have people that like I don't think it works for novels. Like anymore. I really don't. Um I at least for established creators. Like I can see independent writers who have patrons who are willing to support them through a period of time as they're working to finish a work and are eager to receive a continuing story through a period of time. I can see that being the case. We've talked about him before, but like Bret Easton Ellis, who is another established writer, is doing this where he's writing that novel and conveying it audiobook style through his podcast every so often. So he's doing it too on his own. And then you have like Salman Rushdie doing it through Substack, where I don't think it makes the most sense. I would think people that are looking forward to established writers' work would want a whole book because that's the way that they know that work.
Yes.
And I think the people that want to support independent writers and creators are more willing to support them as they are continuing to create something that way.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm looking for completed work from somebody that I am familiar with.
Yeah. And to your point, like even about TV, it's like I usually wait until a season or a series is finished before I go and watch it. I usually don't even watch everything. I don't binge watch things.
I mean, neither.
But I'd like to control the pace at which I can watch or consume something. So yeah, like I don't think it makes the most sense for books.
I mean, I'm very annoying when it comes to TV because I really do feel like you're doing a disservice if you're marathoning a show.
Right.
I think you're losing out on so much of the episodic nature of it. There's a lot that you're really just like breezing past if you are watching like 5 hours of a show in one day.
Right.
But that's like a whole that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But whereas something like manga where you have, One Piece has thousands of issues and it's still going on and on, the production of it, and the same thing with these short form comics, the production of it makes sense to have it, you can't sort of create it all at once and then release it.
Absolutely.
It's this continuing thing where you have to keep working on it, like the art, the writing, like it doesn't work the same way. Whereas with TV and novels can be written and then edited and then released, and the mediums are different, so their release can be different. So
it just like reminds me to mention that Webtoon has like 2 different days that it releases its titles. So like you have the ongoing series that release 1 episode a week. And a lot of the popular, like there are series on there that have been going on for years and there are hundreds of episodes. They're still going on. Like they'll take like seasonal breaks, but then there's also series that are the entire thing is released at once. And so like, let's say a creator has made like 40 episodes, and they're all released at the same time. And you'll get like the first like 5 or 10 for free. And then if you want to continue reading, you can only unlock one per day. Or you can just like outright purchase them.
Sure, right. And so then the analog there would be like a graphic novel, right? Like this is one completed story that is written and drawn ahead of time, you know, and then it's one completed work that you would purchase. It's
definitely.
Yeah, it's very interesting, I would say. Yeah. Do we want to do this InfoWars thingy?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you gonna do? Did you like skip over the Nicki Minaj entirely, or were you planning on getting to that at the end?
Do we want to do that? I don't know how much time I'll spend on it.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it probably wouldn't be relevant next week, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's my only thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to meme school.
Okay.
Meme school.
So, everybody probably saw this. Nicki Minaj tweeted this crazy ass shit about her cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So she says, just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. And for reference, Nicki Minaj has 22.7 million followers. I think she gained about 3 million since this tweet, which is, yeah.
She also mentioned that she, in that tweet, she mentioned that she's working on doing her own research.
Of course.
When deciding to whether or not to get the vaccine.
That's the best fucking phrase, because it doesn't mean it. Your own research is like, what are you doing? Like, what, you go on YouTube and find some cracked out, dude that says he's a doctor and says that, oh yeah, the vaccine causes magnetism, like, what's your research? Like,
yeah.
It's just hilarious. So the vaccine gave him the symptoms of syphilis. And so his fiance calls off the wedding.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an amazing anecdote. Like that's really, I think, why this blew up.
Yeah,
like it did.
Yeah,
you just said like how outrageous the story is.
Yeah.
But it is just a continuation of a theme. Because a few months ago I came across this story. It was from Women's Health, and it was about how on social media platforms, primarily pregnant women are being targeted by anti-vaxxers.
Of course they are.
And so, like, there was an example of this woman who she's a doctor, and on Instagram she was pregnant. First off, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had a miscarriage. And so she posted something on social media about how she got a miscarriage.
We're doing a lot of miscarriage abortion content.
It just it wind up that way. It wasn't. Dudes. I know it seems like it seems like
we're really focusing on this.
We shouldn't even.
Go ahead. No, anyway. I just want to point that out.
I know. Christ. This week is not going the way I thought it would.
It's going better than last week, I have to say.
Okay.
Last week's was a shit show.
But anyway, so like an example of what was going on was this woman had a miscarriage. She made a post about it on Instagram. She also had a later post where she mentioned that she had gotten the vaccine, right?
Yeah.
This was like around, I don't know, February. And what happened was later on, she learns that her images are circulating on Facebook. And somebody had taken those photos, swapped out the dates. So let me just say, she had the miscarriage first, and then got the vaccine.
Yeah.
But this person swapped out the dates, photoshopped it, and made it seem like this woman got the miscarriage because of the vaccine. So she then contacted Facebook, trying to have them remove this misinformation.
That's not gonna do shit.
Facebook did not remove anything. She reached out to as many people as she could that she was trying to like track the spread of this post.
No, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. I mean, some people were obliging, other people's were hateful, as you would expect.
Right.
So, that's just one example of like targeted anti-vax propaganda against different like communities and different people. In this case, it was pregnant women.
A lot of it you see is just deep fried screenshots of like just a paragraph. You can't even see where it's from, or sometimes the source will be like, oh, World News 101. It's like, what the fuck is that? That's not a source,
Right.
And it's just the screenshots are so grainy and like, it's like, shut the fuck up, go away. And it'll say some shit, about how the vaccine causes something, or it's not effective, or whatever they're trying to spew. It's just like they'll find anything, any reason at all, just not to take it.
Right. Because somebody yelling on YouTube is more valuable to them than all the scientific research gathered on this, because the guy on YouTube supports what they want to hear.
Right. Yeah. Do your research means find the first person that agrees with their preconceived notion.
Yes.
That's all it is. So
and this Nicki Minaj thing is so unfortunate because, like you said, 22 million Twitter followers. She's
right.
influential. She has a platform. She has a voice, and this is what she's choosing to put out there.
Yeah, her friend's uncle's cousin's brother has big ass balls now. But it's so outlandish. It's If any,
I was gonna keep going because I'm gonna look something up.
If anybody is swayed by that, it's like, come on. And then you have to see this other Nicki Minaj tweet from 2013 where she puts out a call. She says, "Okay, boys, what's your ball size?" You gotta put that out there. You gotta ask. And this makes me question. So I have to know.
Yes.
Do people care how big your balls are?
Well, obviously, it ruins weddings.
No, it ruined the wedding because the bride knew that this dude was cheating on her.
Wait, is that the implication? I thought it was just
his balls are swollen because he's got an STD.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what happens.
Yes.
He's got like syphilis or something. That's why the wedding is off.
It all makes sense now.
That's why. So yeah, Nicki Minaj in 2013 is asking, "What's your ball size?" Like, I understand the dick size fetish, right? But like,
sure.
But like, ball size? What are you doing with that?
Yeah.
Do you want him to be big or small? Like, what? This might be too crude. I might cut this, but like, what?
Well, maybe we need to, if we want to get people vaccinated, maybe we do need to claim that they make your balls bigger if that's a positive thing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is the But then I guess you don't want what is it? The creation of Adam, the painting, was that Da Vinci, where he's got the tiny little peanuts down there. I guess you don't want that. I don't know. I guess it's emasculating. I don't know. I might cut this.
Well, we should mention the Trinidad government has sort of responded to.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck this. Why is she talking?
They've investigated and they've determined that no, that the vaccine is not what the cause of this.
Yeah. Like, yeah. The fact that anybody has to debunk this. Oh my god.
The whole point of this was like she couldn't go to the Met Gala because the Met Gala has a vaccine requirement.
Oh.
And so that's her explanation for why she was not attending the Met Gala this week.
Because that's her explanation for not getting vaccinated.
Right.
Okay, but
now the question is,
she doesn't have balls, as far as I know.
Sure, that's
I believe that
definitely...
she's biologically female.
Right.
But,
so that's one thing. Like also, when she's saying that she's doing her research, like she's working on her research now, right?
Yes.
In September 2021, when the rollout started in December of 2020.
Yeah.
So like, why now? Why just now?
Maybe she just found out. I don't know.
I mean, the assumption I could make is that this Met Gala is her first obstacle that she's faced, where vaccine even came to mind. Like she needed to get one.
Right.
Which, by the way, did you see any of the Met Gala stuff?
I saw the AOC discourse and I couldn't. I thought
the AOC dress was great.
Yeah, it's whatever. I really don't care.
I mean, I just think it's funny how people get riled up over something as simple a statement as that.
She could sneeze and they're gonna talk about it.
That's true. That's true. And they're trying to like claim that she's part of like the wealthy, like the 1% or whatever. And it's like, well, no, now we have to pull out her how much she makes annually in her job, and
we gotta pull out her checkbook. Yeah, it happens every time. It happens every time she does something. Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
Making a statement like that with a bunch of rich people.
Yeah.
Surrounding you is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just can't be bothered to care. Did
you see Grimes with her sword?
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm surprised they let her in with that thing.
Well, because it wasn't a gun.
But it was a giant sword.
Well, it was dull enough that she could have it on her shoulder.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. It's like a big butter knife.
That was a pretty cool Met Gala.
I guess. I just don't get the point.
Well, it's charity, right?
Is it?
You have to pay I think I heard $30,000 you have to donate to go to it.
Where's it go? Where's the money go?
I can look that up real quick.
Because that's the first I've heard that there's any charity involved. It's so.
Oh yeah. Otherwise it's just rich people getting together for the hell of it.
Yeah, it's like it's so beyond an afterthought. I saw somebody call it Hunger Games, and I was like, oh yeah. It is what that looks like. All the outfits and shit.
Wait a minute here.
No charity?
Well, so just doing a quick Google search,
yeah.
The question is, who does the Met Gala raise money for? The night is a fundraiser for the museum's Costume Institute, which is putting on exhibition on American fashion.
I don't think they need that money.
The 2021 gala raised a record-breaking $16.75 million and is the primary source for the Institute's annual budget.
Okay.
I don't know if I call that charity.
That's not charity.
No.
They're raising funds, but that's not a charity.
No, that's a fundraiser. It's from the Washington Post, by the way. So
yeah. Oof.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Call it a charity fundraiser.
Nah.
I guess that's kind of why you have to read the fine print, huh?
Yeah. It's not like they're well, I guess they kind of are. Is that government owned? The museum? No, they get grants and shit.
Met?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they need?
No, it might be government owned because if you have like a New York, if you have a New York library, New York City like library card, you get access to the Met.
Yeah. So why are they?
I don't know. I just thought the outfits were cool.
Sure. It's a giant. It really obfuscates what's going on here, though.
What do you mean?
They're getting millions of dollars for something.
But they're getting millions of dollars from people who have the millions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, maybe they could give the millions of dollars to anything else.
Anything else, yeah. Kind of made the assumption it was like
something useful.
Something better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oof. That's rough.
Lee Pace had this thing going on where he was wearing shorts with like a suit.
It's like a Weekend at Bernie's thing.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, if I went to one of those things, I'd wear shorts anyway.
Sure. Wait.
I think it's been a good one. It's certainly better than last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, like, there's a running theme of like
we really brought up a lot of abortion.
I know, and I don't feel qualified.
We're definitely not. We're definitely not.
I feel like we've said pretty much nothing about it, honestly, even though we brought it up a bunch.
Yeah. What was the movie again? The one by somebody that
the one I was talking about that came out last year.
Yeah.
Never, rarely, sometimes.
Okay,
always.
go watch that one. And then what was the one that just won awards?
Happening. But that's not out yet.
Okay. Well, be on the lookout for that one.
Yeah.
Because that'll be much better than listening to two fucking straight white guys talk about abortion.
Absolutely.
Whew.
Liza Hittman is one of the best directors going today, so definitely check that one out.
Yeah. That was an episode.
It was. Still is, actually.
Still is. It hasn't ended quite yet. Thank you for listening. Hope this ending doesn't, turn you off too much, but it probably will. You can follow me everywhere at DeadEndRoad. You can yell at me about abortion there. Or send your hot takes and yell at us at video@deadendroad.co. Check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/DeadEndRoadTV. Twitch.tv/DeadEndRoadTV. Oh, there's no dot there. What the fuck am I doing? Backspace. Twitch.tv/DeadEndRoadTV. I think I'm going to be streaming some Deathloop soon because I've been playing a little bit of that because that came out.
No, the way I see it, yeah, is that when you have a law that is taking away a woman's right to get an abortion, okay, that is a human rights issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as humans, I think it affects everybody.
It does.
So that's my final statement this week on it.
Okay. YouTube search DeadEndRoad TV.
I feel like I'm just trying to climb out of a hole, and I don't even know if I'm in the hole. But I feel like I am. But I'm not sure.
Remember that golf thing where they yell?
I'm sure they still do that.
Do they? I don't know. YouTube's
that's like the only exciting thing you can do as a spectator at a golf tournament is yell in the hole.
That's true. What
else is there?
Yeah, I think we're
I'm trying to think if there's something else. You don't yell birdie, do you?
Maybe. YouTube search DeadEndRoad TV. Get us to 100 subscribers.
I thought maybe big money, but that's like a Price is Right thing. That's not golf.
Yeah. Well, maybe not anymore now that what's his face is not there. There's some Jeopardy news today. We didn't even get to that. Next week.
But you know what's funny? My dad watches Jeopardy, and he told me the other day, he was like, I was very surprised when Mike Richards walked out on the stage.
Yeah.
Because there was the first episode of his like 2-week run.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of episodes. They're still airing them. Yeah. We might get to that next week because there was some stuff that came out this morning. So yeah, if you got any feedback for us, send it our way. We appreciate you listening, especially if you stick around to the end, because I don't know if you do or not. So,
I mean, in this case, I kind of hope nobody did.
Maybe they don't. I don't know what's. I don't know what I'm gonna keep. I don't know what I'm gonna cut. So this was an episode, and I thought it was better than last week's, but who knows anymore? Who knows? I'm gonna hit the stop recording button before it gets worse. Thank you for listening.